Hey people, it's another episode of Success Talks Football. Guys, it's officially the end of the season for our top 5 leagues. What this means is that we now have our Champions League teams, our Europa League teams, the Conference League teams, and unfortunately, the teams that have been relegated into the second division of their respective leagues. The teams that made it into next season's Champions League from the Premier League are Liverpool, the league winners, Arsenal, the first runner-up, Manchester City. I just knew they could never bottle their chance of getting into the Champions League. Also, fourth position is Chelsea and Newcastle. Unfortunately for Aston Villa, they lost to Manchester City that had nothing to lose. Their only gain was moving from 16th to 15th position. They ended the league being in the 15th position. It was rather unfortunate for Aston Villa, who needed that win to get into the Champions League. They're on the same point with Newcastle, but Newcastle is ahead of them with goal difference. So Newcastle made it into the Champions League as the 5th team, while they made it into next season's Europa League. And also Nottingham Forest, that lost to Chelsea, made it into the Conference League. Do not forget that Tottenham won the Europa finals and made the automatic qualification into the Champions League for next season. So this means that 6 teams are going for next season's Champions League from the Premier League, and the relegated teams are Leicester City, Ipswich Town, and Southampton. Now, in La Liga, the teams that made it into next season's Champions League are Barcelona, the league winners, Real Madrid, the first runner-up, Atletico Madrid, Atletico Bilbao, and Villarreal. Real Betis made it into next season's Europa League, as well as Celta Vigo, while Rayo Vallecano made it into next season's Conference League. Then the relegated teams are Leganes, Las Palmas, and Real Valladolid. Remember what I said again about Espanyol and Leganes. Leganes won their last match. Unfortunately for them, and fortunately for Espanyol, they also won their last match. What Espanyol needed to do was just to win, so as not to be relegated, and they did just that. So congratulations to them. And also remember that on Wednesday, 28th of May, is the Conference League finals between Real Betis and Chelsea. We'll talk more about that. In Serie A, the teams that made the Champions League for next season are Napoli, the league winners, Inter Milan, the first runner-up, Atalanta, and Juventus. Congratulations to Juventus for winning their last match. That was dependent on them making the Champions League, and guess what? They played against a team that needed a win also not to be relegated. So it was a tough match, but then Juventus is just the better team, and they utilized that. And for next season, the Europa League teams are AS Roma and Bologna. Remember that Bologna won the Coppa Italia finals against AC Milan, which gave them the automatic qualification into next season's Europa. And in the Conference League is Fiorentina. Now the relegated teams are Empoli, Venezia, unfortunately, and Monza. Congratulations to all the teams that made next season's European competitions, talking about the Champions League, the Europa League, and also the Conference League. Unfortunately, we'll not be seeing teams like Lazio, AC Milan, and Manchester United. It's shocking. It shocked me too. We have come to the end of this episode. Type Success Talks Football in the comment section if you got to this point. Do not forget to follow us on TikTok, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, and also share. And remember that the Conference League finals and also the Champions League finals are all in this week. So it's still an interesting week for football lovers. See you in the next episode.